What's going on, you guys? I'm Mr. Grimreaper 2 with the Alpha Wolf 25 again and Dark Knight 97, and welcome to another edition of Back in Time with yours truly. Tonight, me, the Alpha Wolf, and Dark Knight are going to take a look at the 1984 classic Ghostbusters. We're going to talk about the plot, and we're going to talk about the controversy that happened years later into 2016. And I will give y'all insight on that, and we'll talk about that. But does the 1984 classic still hold up after all these years, decades later? Let's find out, shall we? This is our review of Ghostbusters. Enjoy the review. What's going on, everyone? I am Mr. Grimreaper 2 here with the Alpha Wolf 25 and Dark Knight 987. And tonight we're going to take a look at Ghostbusters as the first Ghostbusters from 1985. 1984, excuse me. Sorry, part of that. We are gonna. This film was directed by Ivan Reitman. This film was written by Dan Aykroyd and the late Harold Ramis. This film stars Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Sigourney Weaver, Harold Ramis, and Rick Moranis. And we're going to talk about the plot and all that. And then we're going to give our insights on the film, as well as talk about the controversy that many people have been talking about, that the controversy that happened in 2016, and also there's some controversy that has stirred up to the 2020 film, which is supposed to be the third installment of the original series. So we're going to talk about the plot right now. So here we go. Oh, by the way, if you have not seen this movie, which I'm freaking surprised you hadn't seen it, please pick up both movies. Because this is not the first movie that I'm good. This is not the first one we're going to do. We're going to do Ghostbusters 2 after this one.
If you haven't seen Ghostbusters, what rock have you been living under?
Yes!
Probably
Thank you!
At the bottom of the ocean.
Thank you! Would you agree with that sentiment?
Yes, I would.
Thank you so much. Alright, so here we go. Peter Venkman, Raymond Stantz, and Egon Spengler are scientists investigating the paranormal at Columbia University. After they lose their jobs following a botched ghost investigation in the university library, they establish Ghostbusters, a paranormal investigation and elimination service. They open their business in a disused firehouse and develop high-tech equipment to capture ghosts. On their first call at a hotel, Egon warns the group never to cross the energy streams of their proton back, which I'm going to get to later on, as this could cause a catastrophic explosion. They capture their first ghost, Slimer, and deposit it in a special containment unit in the firehouse. As paranormal activity increases in New York City, they hire a fourth member, Winston Zeddemore, to cope with demand. The Ghostbusters are retained by cellist Dana Barrett, whose apartment is haunted by a demonic spirit, Zul, a demigod worshipped as a servant to Gozer the Gozerian, a shape-shifting god of destruction. Venkman competes with Dana's neighbor, Count Louis Tully, for her affections. As the Ghostbusters investigate, Dana is possessed by Zul the Gatekeeper, while Louis is possessed by her counterpart, Vince Glortho, the Keymaster. Both demons speak of the coming of Gozer the Destructor and the release of the imprisoned ghosts. The Ghostbusters take steps to keep the two apart. Walter Peck, who's an asshole, I hate him, an EPA, a lawyer, thank you, has the Ghostbusters. I apologize, guys. I am so sorry. I'm off my rocker tonight. I apologize. has the Ghostbusters arrested for operating unlicensed waste handlers because he's a prick. He orders their ghost containment system deactivated, causing an explosion that releases all the ghosts and Lewis Vins. The ghosts wreak havoc throughout the city. Consulting blueprints of Dana's apartment building, the Ghostbusters learn that Mad Doctor and cult leader Ivo Shandor? Ivo? Oh, okay. Declaring humanity too sick to exist after World War I, designed the building as a gateway to summon Gozer and bring about the end of the world. The Ghostbusters are released from custody to combat the supernatural crisis on the apartment building. Zool and Vince open the gate between dimensions and transform into supernatural hellhounds. Gozer, in the form of a woman, is attacked by the team. Gozer vanishes but demands that the Ghostbusters choose the form of the Destructor. Ray inadvertently recalls a beloved corporate mascot from his childhood, and Gozer appears as the giant Stay Puft Marshmallow Man that attacks the city. The Ghostbusters cross their proton pack energy streams and fire them at Gozer's portal. The explosion closes the gate, destroys Stay Puft, and banishes Gozer back to its dimension. The Ghostbusters rescue Dana and Lewis and are welcomed on the streets as heroes. All right.
Just the plot is funny.
Yeah.
Not even the movie you need.
Yeah, so I need to talk about this. He said at the other part, during the part when they go into the building, when they go into the hotel, never to cross the streams. Mm-hmm. Then why then? I never understood this. Why then are you going to cross the freaking streams?
Because you need to save the world. Okay? That was the coolest part of the movie. You got to cross the streams.
Dude, what did you think of that part?
Oh, God. I don't know. I didn't quite get it either at first, but... oh, my God. I mean... It didn't stand for, like...
It didn't make sense. The whole thing about this is... The whole thing about it is... It didn't make sense. It made sense at the end of the freaking movie... But it didn't make sense. It didn't. Why would you go with that? Why would you go with that at the beginning of the movie? Like, well, what was it? Was it the middle?
I think it was relatively.
Yeah, the middle.
I don't know.
Like, I think it happened like during the first act of the film or something like that.
I mean, like, you can't expect pure scientific things in a ghost movie.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of ghost hunters, whatever they are, use electromagnetic stuff.
EVP.
Yeah. When there's electricity and everything, you stand next to power lines and there's a ghost.
Yeah.
Because the power lines are right there giving electricity.
Okay, so I need to talk to you about. I need to ask you, what did you both think of Slimer?
Oh Lord.
Starting with you, dude. What did you think of Slimer?
When I first saw that, the Slimer, like Green Ghost, when I first saw what they got, how crazy he was, I'm like, what the hell? Oh my God. That thing was the most crazy thing they ever caught. I mean, my God. Oh my God.
Yeah, what did you think, Cassie?
It looked like a booger. Just a green booger floating.
Yeah.
But it did set the tone. Like, it was going to be a funny ghost movie instead of anything else.
Mm-hmm. And it also set the tone for the cartoon series as kind of sort of as well. Well, me and him remembers the cartoon series. But I think I love Slimer. I thought Slimer was hilarious as hell. And not to mention the fact that Harold Ramis, before he died, he said that Slimer, it was kind of sort of like a ghost of he said that Slimer was the ghost of John Belushi. I think that's what he said. Because originally John Belushi was supposed to be in this film, but he never got a chance to.
It's like a homage to him.
Yeah. But I remember. So, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. What did you think of the graphics on the?
I mean, it was as realistic as it could be.
Yeah.
So, for the times.
Yeah,
it was good.
because computer graphics hasn't even, because CGI didn't come out yet, was that out yet?
Yeah. Well, I will say when I was a kid, I thought it was just a giant Stay Puft Marshmallow Man costume.
Yeah.
So I think it was relatively good to make me believe that.
What did you think of Stay Puft, dude?
Oh my god! Couldn't believe it. I mean, this character, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. I mean, when you first see him in logos, you think he's just a cool little nice little character. But when they possess him and he becomes a huge giant monster, you're thinking, okay, I thought he was just a friendly character.
Oh my god! What the hell?
He's a funny little character to me.
What set up a darker tone to this film had to have been the beginning of the film itself.
The ghost?
Yeah, when we're in okay, there's this lady, the librarian. I'm sure you remember this part too, right, dude?
Uh-huh.
At the beginning of the film, before the credits come up, there's this librarian, and it has to be the most scary scene in the movie. Mm-hmm. At the very beginning of the film, this librarian gets messed with by this ghost, and it's
another librarian, I think. Right?
Yeah. It was. And the way the ghost looked was creepy as hell.
Uh-huh.
What did you think of the opening scene of the film?
Well, I guess it's not really the opening scene, but one of the first ghost scenes.
Yeah.
Like, it still scares me. I just don't like the look of her, especially when she, kind of screams back at them. She turns into the terrifying ghost. At first, she was just a lady specter with no legs, just looking at books, which was scary. But I think the part where she yells, it still scares me. Sad to say.
The librarian?
Yeah.
How creeped out were you, dude, with the first time you saw that opening scene?
Very creeped out. I'm going to tell you right now, very creeped out. When I first saw that, when all that happened, yeah, I didn't even want to look anymore. I was really freaked out by that opening scene. And like I said, I agree that it goes very creepy.
Yeah, I felt that the ghosts themselves. I thought that how at the beginning of this was like before graphic designs, computer graphics, and for a movie with very limited graphics, I thought the ghosts looked completely horrifying. I thought the ghosts were creepy. The part where Zool takes over Dana, her apartment, the scene when she's in her apartment, and remember there's like a hand or something like that comes out of her out of her chair. Do you remember?
That's so freaky.
You remember?
That's one of my worst irrational fears.
It swallows her. The door opens behind her. I think it's like the fridge or something like that, right?
I think it's like the kitchen door, and it takes her when it closes.
Yeah, that was creepy. It was so creepy.
Just the way the hands look, or just it was.
Oh my god! Yeah,
it gives you chills.
Yeah, I was like this the whole time, just looking, just watching. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, huh? And what did you think of that scene, dude? The scene in Dana's apartment.
Oh God, I don't even want. Yeah, I was basically the same way. I was like, what? What?
Especially when the hand comes out of the chair.
Yes. Like, oh my God.
Like, how does she? I forget. I wish I can show a clip of it. But the hand, I don't know if it's a hand, or if it's just somebody just doing like this to her.
No, it's multiple hands and like strap her down, kind of. They grab her legs, her arms, and her neck.
Oh
and stuff.
God, that would.
But I know it's multiple. It's more than 4 hands.
Yeah. And I've always wondered how they did that.
Mm-hmm.
I've always wondered how they did that.
Because right after she like goes back, and people behind her would be run over. But
Yeah.
no, they weren't. So they had to have some kind of mechanism or some kind of puppets to do that.
Yeah, I've always wanted to. I've always wanted to see the behind the scenes of this, and I've always wanted to. I've always wanted to know how they got that idea, like what led to that idea of the hands, because it had to have been practical effects, right?
I would think so, because I couldn't imagine how
Like
they would do
it had to have been like crew members behind her, holding on to her. Trying to grab her, grabbing her, and then they have like they made like a
Maybe
like what, a train track or something like that, and then they would pull her back.
Like that's another thing. There's a scene where eggs pop out of the eggshells and cook.
Yeah.
I always wondered how they do that too, because it looks like a normal kitchen counter.
Yeah.
But they cook. There has to be a way to cook them.
Yeah. Effects were really, really different back then in the 80s.
Yeah.
And
they're more ingenuitive.
Yeah, they're more ingenuitive. Like sometimes they would play with practical effects, and stuff like that. And it was really cool. There's this part in the film, and there's this other part in the film when all the ghosts come out. All the ghosts start to come out. You see these flares. You see these lens flares coming out and stuff like that, and start taking control of New York. And I thought that was the most horrifying scene ever in the movie, especially you get the sense of dread when you see that. Does that kind of make sense?
Oh yeah, definitely. Because you know they're ghosts.
Yeah.
Who knows if they're bad or good?
Okay, I want to talk about this asshole.
Okay.
I want to talk about this asshole, Walter Peck. I hate this prick so much.
Everyone does.
He was a complete utter ass. I was even Vinkman, who can be an asshole himself some of the time. Who could be a sly asshole himself. He even called him a prick. This dude goes into the firehouse and just completely shuts off that machine that has the ghosts in it, and he lets ghosts run amok. He's an idiot.
Yeah. Because you have to think, like, all the other agents who work for the environmental protection thing.
Yeah.
No one else was there. It was just him that was worried about it. That always, like, rubbed me the wrong way. Because he was the only one concerned.
Yeah.
Not even the mayor was.
Yeah. What did you think of Walter Peck, dude?
What a jerk. Is all I can say. What a jerk. I mean, that's the ghost trying to mug. What's wrong with this guy? That's the whole point of the main characters doing their job is catching ghosts.
Even Egon. Yeah. You remember Egon told him. I don't know who it was that told him. I don't know if it was Dan Aykroyd or it was Egon that told him that if you do that, all hell's gonna break loose.
I think it was Egon.
You're gonna bring the apocalypse to this world if you do this. But he still did it anyway because he's a fucking moron and a goddamn idiot. And I think Walter Peck is a complete ass. Not to mention the fact that at first the mayor doesn't believe them at all. They think that he thinks that it's light shows and shit like that that are happening. No, far from it.
Yeah, like the only way the mayor gets on board with like setting them free to go do their job was ensuring that they would get more votes from living voters.
Yeah.
Messed up.
Yeah, but when his face changes when he starts seeing them come out. There's a part in the film where they show his face. They show him at the window, and the way he's looking at everything. He's seeing these ghosts come out, and he's starting to believe now.
Mm-hmm.
That changed that to me changed his demeanor. The horrified look on his face changed his demeanor completely. Do you agree?
Yeah. I mean, it's been a little bit since I've seen the movie.
Yeah.
So I don't know each and every scene.
Yeah.
But I think I remember what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
So the mayor so the part where the last part of the film, the ending of the film, we're gonna talk about that.
He gets splashed by marshmallow.
Yeah.
So he got what he deserved.
Yeah. So at the last part of the film, they come across Gozer. What did you think of Gozer?
Isn't Gozer a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man?
No, before
Because Zool is
the chick that shows up.
Isn't that Zool?
No. Zool was the Dana, and the other one, the gatekeeper, was the keymaster was Lewis, and Zool was the gatekeeper. And then Gozer was the main villain in the film. You don't remember that woman?
Oh, okay.
You don't remember that woman with the short hair?
Yeah.
And
okay, I got confused. What was the question?
okay. What did you think of Zool? What did you think of Gozer as a villain?
I liked her. I mean, because she looked beautiful as well as terrifying.
Yeah.
Well, what else could you ask for?
Yeah.
And she was reasonable.
Reasonable?
Hey.
That's a what's the word I'm looking for? That's a real stretch.
Hey.
Like a real stretch, Cassie.
Okay, first off, they built that hotel or whatever it is to specifically summon her.
Yeah.
And then she comes down. She decides not to destroy it right away.
Yeah.
You could choose how you want your world destroyed.
Yeah.
And whoever made that obviously wants the world destroyed.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, I want the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Yeah.
Great. You get it. She's reasonable. And I mean, if you're going to summon a destructor, what else?
Gozer.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
you get to
so
choose how the world goes.
So I did a review for the 2016 version of this film. And in that review, I said that the movie was pretty good. I thought the 2016 version was pretty good. And spoilers, if y'all haven't seen the 2016 version, they do at the end of the film, at the end of the 2016 version, they do a lot of cartwheels. They do a lot. It's more action packed than the ending of this movie.
Which is them standing and
which is them just standing and just holding a stick.
Mm-hmm.
But the women in the 2016 version, they did a lot of more action packed things that made it more. That made it more
our time now.
good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We like more action stuff.
But I want to talk about the controversy about the 2016 version, and I wanted to get your insight and his insight on the controversy. Because, dude, we talked about this on the phone. Remember? About the controversy that happened 2 years ago. Okay, so if y'all guys don't know about the controversy, I'm gonna tell you about the controversy. The controversy is that Paul Feig, who was the director of the 2016 version, called out alt-writers saying that they're like, if you didn't like the original, you were a sexist pig or something like that, like you're a misogynist, or if you didn't like the 2016 version, you're a sexist pig or some shit like that. Just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth bullshit. And people, this film got a huge backlash from Ghostbusters fans because it wasn't the original cast.
Which
Even
is
though,
understandable.
yeah, even though they were in the movie, but they played different characters in the movie.
I mean, that changes things.
But this is what I think. The 2016 version, if you see the ending of that movie, it's a lot more action packed than the 84 film. Which I'm not saying that the 84 film wasn't bad, which it wasn't. It's still one of my favorite films. But I love the 2016 version.
I haven't seen it yet.
I love the 2016 version. And, you know, I didn't think Leslie Jones, what's her name?
Kristen Wiig.
Kristen Wiig. I forget who was the Egon one. All four of these girls are, well, except the what's her name? She was in that movie Life of a Party, or
Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah, Melissa McCarthy. And what's that other chick? Hold on, let me see if I can find it here.
Okay. Melissa McCarthy, Christian Wiig, Kate McKinnon, and Leslie Jones.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much, man.
Hey, you're welcome.
Okay.
Right here.
Okay, so at the end of the 2016 version, it's more action packed than the 84 version. It's more action packed. People got on me because I was trying to say, if you don't like something, there's a little something called common sense. If you don't like something, turn it off. If you don't want to see a movie, don't go see it. I said, and the video is still up on my channel now, and I got a lot of dislikes for it, which comes naturally because there's a bunch of assholes on the internet anyway. That, you know, people don't understand common sense nowadays anymore. You know what I mean? They can bitch and complain about everything. And now, the 2020 version, now that we have this 2020 version, which is going to feature both male and female Ghostbusters in the movie. They're taking it as feminists are taking as a huge fuck you to their version, to the 2016 version. Come on, feminists and the alt-right head to head in this whole thing, and it's just completely stupid.
You would think feminists would be okay with this one now, the one coming out, because don't they want to be equal?
Yes, but why are you bitching and complaining that? Why are you getting mad that? Why are you getting mad that this is not the 26 that a sequel to the 2016 version that come out?
Well, the ones who probably hate this one coming out in 2020, probably what we call feminazis.
Yeah.
So they want everything to be women empowered.
Yeah. So
all women. No
I
women.
I don't understand. It's just completely dumb that we're gonna get the original cast, some of them. Harold Ramis, God rest his soul, will not be in this one.
He's my favorite.
But at least we'll get some of the cast of the original cast.
Yeah.
Some of the people and this is the son of Ivan Reitman, who is going to be directing the film.
He got pretty big shoes to fill.
Yeah, he got pretty big shoes to fill because his dad was one of the most legendary directors in the history of Hollywood when he did the two films that we're reviewing tonight. And
great movies to, you know.
Yeah, but I want to know. I want to get your I want to get your thoughts on the controversy, dude, surrounding the 2016 and the 2020 version of Ghostbusters. What is your thoughts, man?
I mean, to me, this is just a movie. People want to create all this stuff about it, you know. Just because it's an all-girl team. And, people have their opinions, but when you want to create all of this over a movie, it seems kind of dumb to me. It seems kind of just, I mean, it's just stupid. It's real stupid.
Yeah, it's completely unnecessary. It's completely unfucking necessary.
Mm-hmm.
Because come on,
and it ruins like the movie experience. That's why I didn't go.
And these are Ghostbusters fans. These are fans of the original series, calling out the 2016 version because there's female Ghostbusters. Oh, you motherfuckers don't remember that in 1994 there was something called Extreme Ghostbusters that had both male and female Ghostbusters. It was a cartoon series.
Oh, okay.
Then also the original Ghostbusters cartoon, the one from '88, it had female Ghostbusters in it as well. So why are you motherfuckers complaining? It doesn't make sense.
I mean, the way they made it in the first movie, it made sense that they're all men.
Yeah.
Because they're probably all college roommates, college buddies.
Yeah.
And then the next one, he needed a job, which we didn't even discuss.
Yeah. We'll talk about Lewis. We'll talk about Lewis here in a little bit.
I wasn't talking about Lewis.
Who?
I was talking about the black guy.
Oh, Winston. Oh, yeah. We'll talk about Winston here in a little bit.
Perfect.
I apologize. We'll talk about Winston. We forgot about him. Sorry. But we'll talk about him after we talk about this.
But he needed a job. He lost his job.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that they're all men. It's not like they just made them men to make
Yeah, but
men.
people are saying now, oh, there's too much diversity in films now. There's too much diversity in freaking TV shows now. Come on. What are you talking about?
When is diversity a bad thing? I mean, like,
Thank you.
it's just like
Thank you.
It's just like
Thank
food.
you so much.
Just like food. One day you want to have pizza.
It's
the other
not.
day you can have
It's
something
it's
else.
not. You could have a black person in the film. You could have 3 white guys. It doesn't matter. It's still gonna be a good movie, whether diversity is involved or not. That's what people were saying. That's what people were saying about the 2016 movie. That because it's all women, 3 white chicks and 1 black girl. That it was that it's too diverse. It's too gender bending and all this other crap, and it's just stupid. It's stupid. It is
dumb.
really, really stupid.
Because you shouldn't be caring about what people look like, what gender they are. You should care about how they act and what they can bring to the table and make the movie a great movie.
Yes.
Whether they be man, woman, black, white, green, I don't care.
Gay, lesbian,
exactly.
straight, bi. It doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter. It's a movie.
No.
Stop bitching and complaining about it. What is your thoughts on the subject, dude?
Exactly, just a movie. Just a movie. Doesn't matter if it's a man or woman,
What?
lesbian, gay, straight, transgender. Doesn't matter.
Why are you
I
laughing?
almost kicked this thing down.
Oh. My niece is doing something. I don't know what's going on. Sorry, guys.
Oh, okay. So you're agreeing with me. It doesn't matter what orientation you are.
Yeah,
whatever.
it doesn't matter.
It's just a movie. Leave it alone. Just a movie. Come on.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. And for people to get mad, we'll talk about more about this when we do the '89 when we do the Ghostbusters 2, because I want to dive deep into this when we do the next review here coming up next. But Winston, but let's talk about we're gonna revert back to what we were talking about before, but let's talk about Winston.
It's about time we talk about Winston.
Yeah, it's about time we talk about it. And I apologize that we forgot to talk about Winston. Winston was kind of the straight man. Not
I'd imagine.
No. That's not what I meant. Okay. He was kind of the the way his personality was in the film. He was the skeptic. He was the dude that said, "Oh, this stuff is such bullshit."
Yeah, maybe at first he said like, if it gives a good paycheck,
Yeah.
then I'll believe anything you say.
Yeah.
So that's why I really liked him, because he was like, if it's real, okay. If it's not, okay.
Yeah, but the more he saw what they did, the more he said, you know what? The more he started coming around. The more he started saying, you know what? Maybe there's just something out there.
Oh yeah.
And I gotta stretch my mind out a little bit further.
I liked the one scene where he and who was it? I think in the movie his name's Ray. They were driving to the firehouse that was about to be destroyed because they were gonna let out the ghosts.
Yeah.
And he said maybe because the dead are rising because Armageddon is happening.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, that's deep.
Yeah.
And like, he is superstitious in that way too.
Yeah, he is superstitious in that way because he's one of those people that believe in God. He believes that there's a higher power. And he can understand that too, and Alex can understand that too, because you coming from a church background, dude. You can understand that. And when you see a bunch of ghosts coming out of the grave and stuff like that, you know something bad's gonna happen. You know something horrifying is gonna fucking hit the fan. You know shit is completely gonna hit the fan. And I love that aspect. When he said that, that had to be the darkest point of the film. When he said that, the way he said it, the way he looked at Dan Aykroyd's character in the film, he was scared out of his mind.
And then he shows up to a place that's destroyed and all the ghosts are out and about.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why, like, me as one person, I love Winston as a character.
Yeah.
And I think he's a very underrated character.
What did you think of Venkman?
Peter Venkman? That was
Bill Murray.
Yeah.
Peter Venkman. Bill Murray.
Yeah.
Man, he was okay. He wasn't my favorite character.
Why?
Because he was a jerk as well.
He sounded like a misogynist asshole, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And he was kind of like a con man. He was kind of like the con man of the group.
Yeah, she called him a game show host, which is exactly what that is.
Yeah, and I thought that he was really good. I liked him. I liked Venkman, but not in the way that you think.
As a character, and then as an actor,
he kind of came around at the ending of the film. The way he was with Dana though was kind of creepy. Was kind of like creepy in a way.
He was very pushy with her.
Do you think so, man? Like, what did you think of the aspect between
around her? Yeah, that was Bill Murray's character, I mean, he does come around at the end, but he was like, really, we have this, he gives you the feeling like, really, this guy's on our team? Why do we have this guy on our team? He's just
that is true. Like, he wasn't really a scientist.
Yeah, he was like
he didn't say anything scientific.
He was like an everyman. He was like an everyman. He was like an ordinary guy trying to. But the problem was that the thing is that when I call him creepy,
he was.
When I say that he is creepy, is that I don't know if this is college or if this is college that we're going to. You remember the girl that came in?
Yeah.
And when?
Okay, I know that experiment. It was an experiment.
Yeah.
I don't remember what exactly it was about, but in reality, it would get to points where you would just keep electrocuting the person.
Yeah.
Even if they were right or wrong.
Yeah.
And they would go insane from it.
Yeah.
So that kind of proves what kind of person he is. Like,
he's an ass.
Yeah. It's a very, if you know the full story behind those things, it's a very kind of dark scene.
Yeah.
It's terrible, and those people they wouldn't really get paid much.
Yeah, it was it was like electric currents going, right? Yeah.
To see if they were like psychic or something.
Yeah. So, okay. What did you think of Okay, I have to talk about the side characters that work for the Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
I have to talk about Annie Potts and Rick Moranis' character, Lewis. Okay. What did you think of Janine?
That was the secretary, right?
Yeah, the secretary.
I loved her. I mean, she was exactly what you would think a secretary would be.
Yeah.
Very like reserved, and she had the weirdest sense of humor.
Yeah.
And that was funny.
I think the reason most people didn't like the 2016 version is that they got a male to play Janine's character.
I mean,
if
they're going to switch everything, might as well switch everything.
Yeah.
I mean, it's reasonable.
Okay, so what did you think of Janine, dude?
Well, of course, she is portrayed by Annie Potts. So she was the secretary. I don't know. I don't know if I can really. I mean, I don't know how to describe it really on this character here.
Yeah, her role is very small.
Yeah, it was like really small.
And she was kind of weird too.
Yeah,
so
she had.
It's hard to say with her.
I love the dynamic between her and Lewis though. Later, and we'll get to it. We'll get to it into the second movie.
I liked her and Egon.
But
I think that match was good.
Yeah, because she was kind of weird. And
they
she
were
was
both
kind of
weird.
Okay, I want to talk about Egon. What did you think of Egon?
I loved Egon. He was my favorite character.
Yeah.
Because he was weird.
Yeah. What did you think of Egon, dude?
Well, I guess they call him, according to them, they call him most awkward member of the team.
He did kind of come off that way, right?
I think because he was like that ultimate scientist, probably that kid who studied in his room all the time in college.
Yeah.
Never really got out much.
Yeah.
Yeah, so his character was built very well.
Yeah, I felt that same way too. He was kind of the awkward type, especially around Janine.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And out of the four, I think Ray stood out a lot.
Ray.
Dan Aykroyd's character.
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree?
Dan Aykroyd.
I mean, he was kind of like the middle sibling. They have one really smart one really funny one, and then one in the middle that kind of completes the package, but no one really sees him as his own character.
But what did you think of Ray?
I liked
Completely.
him. Like, I didn't really pay much attention to him because, he was that middle character. And yeah, he had the dream of becoming the famous Ghostbuster, but,
But he didn't really care, like, he's not the... I would say out of the four, Peter would be the party guy.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, the funny
and then
guy.
Ray would be the guy. Ray would be the guy that would stay the night. That would stay in his dorm, or I don't know if maybe Ray would or Egon would.
Egon
it's like a toss up between them both.
Egon was the scientific one.
Yeah.
That had like the backbone to everything.
Yeah.
What was it? Peter Venkman, the funny one that was kind of upfront with people.
Yeah.
And then Ray was like.
He was like he was kind of like the overachiever.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I don't really know.
What do you think, man?
Ray.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I like how you said that he's like.
He's kind of he would kind of be like the overachiever of the team.
Yeah, like like that. I like that. You know, that I agree with him. And the reason I want to say I agree with that is because, you know, I see him as that, you know, as that. I do too see him as that. And I think he would also be like more of the leader of the guy, of the group, of the Busters, you know.
Yeah. He's kind of sort of the leader.
Yeah, I can see that.
I don't think Peter would be.
No.
No, Ray is the leader of it all.
Good time.
Yeah, and I have to give props to Sigourney Weaver as Dana.
Yeah.
Both in this one and also the other movie. Because Dana, we see her as kind of like she's kind of like
she's the independent woman.
Yeah.
Right? And that's really awesome because not only is she independent, she's an independent musician.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's a cellist.
She was a cellist, I think.
Yeah.
But
it's hard.
I kind of felt like that she was a little bit more. She kind of has that personality. She has that personality that you said, but I kind of felt like she was more of the damsel in distress.
Oh yeah.
A little bit more.
Yeah.
In this one,
though.
But I think she gets more better as time goes on in the second movie. Maybe. I don't know.
think so because I think she defended herself in the second movie as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think of Dana, dude? What did you think of Dana?
I also give props to Sigourney Weaver. You know, she did the character really great of Dana. You know, and you know, and she does. You know, I think kind of grows in the next one. I mean, but you know, let me see here. I'm just going through things here.
Yeah.
And she's single, and when most guys want to see a single woman, they want to try to show their affections, and you know, that's what we see in the movie, of course. So, trying to impress the lady, you know, the ladies, if you will, and winning, you know what I mean, winning her affections, really. Well, you know, I think that this was a good, you know, I think she was a good character.
Yeah.
Also, like that she wasn't looking for any kind of love interest. She was just making it day by day.
Yeah.
I don't know who that other guy was.
Lewis.
No, I know who he was.
Yeah.
The guy a part of her, I think her orchestra.
Yeah.
We see him very briefly.
Yeah.
I think he was just like a friend. To me, he would have been like
probably
a gay friend. You know, hold him close. You know.
Yeah, probably. Okay, so we've gone through most of the Ghostbusters, and we've gone through the side characters, except for Lewis.
Lewis, he was funny.
Okay, this is what I think Lewis would be if he was which he ends up being part of the team in part 2.
Yeah. Part of the team.
Yeah. He's kind of like the nerd of the group. He's kind of like the nerd of the group.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he's kind of like the I would see him as like the underdog.
Yeah.
Trying to get over.
Yeah, because in time you could definitely see him being a Ghostbuster and all that. Like, he's just a little awkward little man.
Yeah, he's especially when he not to spoil anything or anything like that. Especially when he gets with Janine. I think what Janine I really don't I'm trying to think what Janine saw in him.
I still don't know. I still like Janine and Egon. I couldn't really see Lewis and her together. Like we said, he's...
Yeah, but she's more of the awkward type.
Yeah,
and he's kind of like the sweet kid that you want to like.
He's just so
that you should like.
Yeah,
but he's so cringy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I thought with Dana, he was trying too hard.
Yeah, he
He
was,
was
a little
trying.
creepy with her.
He was trying to display his affections. Mm-hmm. Peter, on the other hand, was a complete misogynist ass.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
okay, do you agree with that sentiment? Do you agree with that sentiment?
I do. I do. You know, in most shows, you'll see, you'll see the nerdy is, you try to impress like a certain crush, girl or whatever. They try to impress, but they try too hard. Yeah, so that's basically, Louis.
Yeah.
That's exactly. He tries too hard. He's just a nerdy kind of guy.
Yeah.
that thinks that he has a shot when, he really does. Yeah.
Yeah. And so we're gonna give our final ideas of the film. What would you give it out of 10, Cassie?
I'd probably give it a 9 out of 10.
A 9.
Just me personally, yeah.
What would you give it, man?
Well, for me, I enjoyed this classic Ghostbusters, and if you guys out there haven't seen it, well, I think we would recommend you see it. Yeah. For me, I'd say 10 out of 10 for me.
Yeah. For me, personally, I love the scenes. I love everything. There was some stuff that was kind of cringeworthy, stuff like that.
Yeah.
There was kind of stuff that was kind of this scene had a couple of hiccups in it. Mm-hmm. But that's not to say that this film is a bad movie. No, far from it.
It's a great movie.
This film, I felt, was a really nice film. It stands the test of time, decades later.
Yeah.
Completely. So I gotta give it. You're probably asking yourself, well, Knight and Wolf gave their reviews. What did you give it, Grim? Well, I'm gonna have to go with Knight on this one. I give it a 10 out of 10. This film is awesome. Mm-hmm. This film is good. I love the graphic work and that was put in, even though some of it kind of looked cheesy a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Mm.
But that was part of the design.
Yeah, no, the only reason I gave it a 9 out of 10 is because I don't believe in ghost hunting.
Yeah.
So I just can't get over that, the bump in the road.
Well, there is people that do ghost hunting, that parapsychologists.
I've watched tons of those.
Yeah.
And
you don't believe in the supernatural?
I do. I'm very superstitious, but
But you don't. But you're skeptic about ghosts.
I'm skeptic about people hunting ghosts. There are probably ghosts and spirits out there, most likely, but I don't think we're ever gonna see them.
Says the skeptic. But anyway, so yeah, what did y'all guys think of Ghostbusters? What did you think of the controversy between the 2020 and the 2016 Ghostbusters? What did you think of? Did you agree with us that Ghostbusters is the greatest film of all time, or did you think that it was just a complete mess? Let us know in the comments down below and all that. Coming up next, we're gonna give our review of Ghostbusters 2, and then we're gonna do one more review for y'all guys. The three of us are gonna do one more review if my phone can handle it. For Ralph Breaks the Internet. So until then, I'm Mr. Grimreaper 2 with the Alpha Wolf 25 and the incomparable Dark Knight 987, and we'll see you all in the afterlife, but not too far in the afterlife. Peace.